What's going on? What's going on? What's going on, everybody? It is your boy ABK, and thank you for checking out another one of my weekly Forex and cryptocurrency analysis. I do appreciate it. So, let's go ahead and get things started. You know how I do things. First and foremost, I like to go ahead and check out the news, check out and see what the news is talking about. But before I get started, I need y'all to go ahead and drop a like and subscribe. I appreciate it. We do appreciate when you guys do drop the likes and subscribes. It gives us more motivation to make these this free content. As much as we love to provide it to you guys, when you guys do that for us as well, it will allow us to grow, allow the YouTube algorithm to place us in other people's suggested places so that we can also grow, you know? So please do like and subscribe to our channel. We appreciate it a lot. So first and foremost, Tuesday, August 31st. First of all, first of the month. So we're gonna be checking out the monthly a little early. Tuesday, even if I do my analysis, we're not gonna be able to look at the monthly close. So I'm just gonna take a look at what the monthly looks like, but there is gonna be some days, Monday and Tuesday, that are gonna run before the monthly candle closes. So Tuesday, August 31st, 8:30 p.m. Central Standard Time, we have Australian dollar with the GDP. Wednesday, we have OPEC meeting. So this is for those who trade oil. You want to watch for that all day. 7:15 a.m. Central Standard Time, USD. We have NFP, which is the ADP, which isn't necessarily like the actual results, but it's just like a guesstimate, I'm supposing. We also have manufacturing PMI at 9 a.m. on Wednesday. Thursday, there's no news, and Friday, there's going to be the actual NFP and unemployment rate and the actual PMI. So, gonna be an interesting week. You guys know how it usually is. And the past NFPs that have been going on, the actual news release, there has been a lot of volatility in the market. So you will want to watch for that on Friday, because I remember there were times last year where the NFP would happen, but nothing really would. There would be no interactions or anything like. I mean, not interactions. There wouldn't be any like high volume in the markets or anything. But now, like I said, like the past couple of NFPs, I've been noticing they have been moving like that. So you want to watch for that on Friday at 7:30 a.m. Central Standard Time. Okay, let's go on over to the charts. I'm going to go ahead and put this on full screen. All right, so let's go ahead and check out the monthly candle. So first of all, on the monthly, let me get rid of all that. So far, it looks like it's leaving a wick to the upside, which I remember I had talked about that this zone right here. I was saying that price could potentially, let's go over to the weekly time frame now, that it could potentially just come up and grab this liquidity and then end up dropping. So based on the monthly time frame, like I said, it hasn't closed yet, and there's still a few more days until it does close. So I'm definitely gonna have to be patient and watch for that. However, I do, based off of last week, like I said, like the way how it just, first of all, like this pattern that I have here, this like rising wedge, price rejected off of it to the upside, and it, like I said, it did come up and grab this liquidity. So it just looks like price is gonna continue dropping, and that could have been a fake out for the buyers, right? That's what the weekly candle looks like. The weekly, like, it's a bearish. It's not engulfing the candle, but it's a Mariposa candle, and it looks pretty sturdy. You know, it looks like as if price does indeed want to continue going bearish. I did have a fib here. Where is it? There it is. I did have a fib here, and I had mentioned this on I think it was on Friday. Yeah. I was saying that, price was acting as if it wanted to go bullish, but then all of a sudden there was news and the price ended up going to the downside. And I was saying that if price does not hold at this zone, then most likely prices is going to end up continue falling, and this would be indeed a fake out to the upside, and I would be saying that probably the US dollar would be dropping. However, I can't necessarily, just like I said, just based off of the way how the daily, based off of the way how the daily closed with this engulfing bearish candle, it looks like price is going to continue falling to the downside. It could definitely stop right here, but it looks like it could keep going more bearish, right? who's to say that, oops, hold on. And who's even to say that this isn't the play that the Fib is actually trying to go towards, right? Who's to say that prices are going to come back into like 92.377 or 92.233 and then continue going bullish, right? However, like I said, just based off of how the weekly played out and how a price did come up and grab this liquidity and then drop down so fast, that's why I'm saying that it doesn't look like to me this is going to go bullish. So I'm going to go ahead and delete this zone. Well, actually, no, I'm going to keep it here. I'm actually going to keep this zone here to see what's really going to happen. But I'm feeling the bears on the DXY more than the bulls, and I'm pretty sure arbitrage is definitely going to agree with me. So I'm going to go ahead and delete this. I was wrong about this play, and it is what it is. You know, I took losses this week because I wasn't really trading that much. So I took losses last week. I'm not gonna even lie about that at all. Like, and it just looks like, again, even the 4 hour, the way how this fell, it consolidated, it bear flagged, it made a bear flag, and then it dropped out. You know, all I'm seeing at this point is a retest and then a continuation to the downside. That's kind of what I'm seeing right here with that bear flag. So yeah, that's what I'm seeing on the DXY, honestly speaking. I would honestly rather prefer for it to do, for it to have done a proper retracement. But at this point in time, I kind of just have to wait and see what the DXY is going to do, because overall, it's still, like I said, it's still in this wedge, and I still need to see how it's going to like play out. You know, it's just not a solid. It's not a solid thing to look at, but I am very much more bearish on it than bullish, right? So at this point in time, I'm probably going to end up watching for something like this before I start to sell the DXY, because again, with that bear flag, at this point, I just need a retracement and then a continuation to the downside, because I am feeling more bearish on the DXY than I am bullish, for sure. Like, at this point in time, the trend, it looks to me like it's changing, you know? So that's what I have on the technical analysis end of the DXY analysis. Let's go ahead and take an arbitrage. 4 hour time frame, called for the sell, retested the RSI line, and continued falling. As much as I don't like how this looked, it played out perfectly. Like, that's exactly how I trade arbitrage. Is I wait for the breakout, I get the breakout, wait for the retest, and then the continuation. Daily time frame looks like it might be setting up for a potential sell, but it's not quite there yet. So I'm gonna have to be patient and wait to see what's up. Last time it called for a sell, it did end up giving me a loss. Like, when it called this buy, I'm like, all right, well, it looks like I gotta get out for now. So waiting to see what's going to happen. Weekly time frame on the DXY. Yeah, see that. Like, I honestly do think that the DXY might end up pushing to the downside. Like, again, it's the same thing, you know. It's just a continuation to the downside at this point. There's no point in me looking at the 1 hour. The 1 hour is completely bearish. So again, I'm just going to have to wait for 93.019. and then a continuation to the downside. That's how I'm seeing the DXY right now. All right, so let's go over to Euro USD. Same thing with Euro USD. I'm actually out of this sell. I took this. I'm like I said, I closed this sell early. I closed it about over here. So instead of taking a full 1% loss, I took like a 0.6%. Instead of risking 46 pips, I lost 20 pips. So it was cool that, well, it's not cool. I didn't want to take a loss. Like, nobody likes taking losses, but you know, that's why I'm saying, like, I saw that the reversal was happening once price started making that big volume, and I'm like, okay, yeah, this doesn't look like price is gonna go my way. And I'm pretty sure next week is gonna either, hold on, let me actually go to the weekly time frame. Price held at this zone. That's pretty interesting to me. Not like how it was on the DXY where it grabbed the liquidity, because there's all this, there's these right here as well. That price could have still came down lower to. which is what I was kind of expecting. But again, like it's not like as if that was where the liquidity, like that's where I was really expecting Euro USD to come down to. So I was just expecting it to go bearish, period. Like I honestly thought that the DXY was going to continue going bullish, but it was a fake out. So that would be in turn what makes the weekly the Euro USD not go bearish, right? So monthly time frame, although like I said, it has 3 more days until it closes. Based off of how it looks, this does not look like a candle that wants to continue going bearish. Euro USD is still above the 50 EMA on the monthly chart, and it is under the 50 EMA on the weekly chart. So that's kind of interesting to see. The weekly time frame, we have 2 Mariposa candles. So like I said, this does not look like Euro USD wants to start selling quite yet. Daily time frame, we have a bearish engulfing candle as well. There's multiple wicks to the downside, rather to the upside. What I could possibly definitely see happening is that this could just be a liquidity grab to the upside. But again, just the way how the DXY, wait, what am I doing over here? Just the way how the DXY looks, honestly, it just looks like to me as if Euro USD is just going to end up breaking out to the upside, retesting the continuing to the upside or something like that, you know? Like I honestly thought that it was going to go bearish last week and it didn't. So gonna wait a little longer for me to get a game plan. Hey Carlo, how you doing, bro? I saw that. I didn't even notice that message there until right now. But yeah, don't really know. I don't know, man. I don't know what to say about that. Go ahead and go over to not AUD USD. Go over to arbitrage. Weekly time frame, it was calling for the sell. I still want that retracement before I even look for a long-term sell. Regardless, daily time frame looks like it's setting up for a potential buy. So that's something that I'm going to be watching for this week. If this buy gets called and it retraces, then I'm probably going to end up getting into it and playing it. The 4-hour time frame, it definitely called for that buy and it played out. Retested the RSI right there. That's interesting how that played out. And this is just how the DXY looks the opposite. So like I said, the 1 hour and the 4 hour, there's nothing really to look at there. It's more the daily and the weekly. I don't like how the weekly and the daily aren't the same. I usually love it hardcore when they're both calling for the same thing, because that's multiple, like just multiple confluence, you know? So when it comes to the Euro USD, at this point, I really do just seeing going bullish, because at this point, it looks like this right here. Stop out to the downside, breakout, retest, continuation. But I'm gonna have to wait and see where the retracement's gonna be looking like and what the volume looks like with it. But yeah, this looks like it's gonna keep going. It's going over to AUD USD. Those were L's for me. All right, AUD USD. It's at a spot where it could potentially go bearish. And you know what? Just based off of how the US dollar looks, I don't feel safe selling anybody to try to sell this. This is what I was looking for last week, and then it ended up happening. But again, it's just, I really have a hard time trying to justify trying to get into a sell here. Because although, yes, it has been very much bearish, it's not a bullish engulfing candle either. That's another thing. Like compared to what last week's bearish candle looked like to this week's bullish, it doesn't look that terrible. But then when you go look on the monthly time frame, that's when it looks a whole lot of ugly. Like let me hide that, and then hide this as well. See this weekly time frame? That weekly time frame is not really telling that, oh, I'm trying to necessarily sell, you know? It looks like to me that it wants to go bullish. But again, it is under the 50 EMA on the monthly time frame. And again, this monthly time, or not even the monthly, this Australian dollar, I still feel like it has some correcting to do. Whether it comes to this zone that I have drawn, or if it comes down to like 0.65 to 100, I still feel like it still has some more correcting to do. So with this right here, I'm gonna have to wait for price action. I'm gonna have to wait for some better price action to let me know if I really want to try to get into this sell. There is also these equal highs over here. There's also these equal highs over here. That price could definitely, well, not even equal highs, just, I'm gonna do this instead. It's a little thicker zone, but you know, there is these equal highs up here that price has came up to before. So I'm gonna watch, but again, this is a zone that I don't necessarily feel comfortable trying to say that, okay, get into a sell, because the way how price ended up getting up there, on the 1 hour time frame, it made like, it was bullish, made like a bullish flagish kind of thing, and then when bullish again, don't necessarily, I wouldn't want to get into a sell here unless this consolidation here sticks, and then I start to see some like I said, some price action that's telling me, okay, yes, you could potentially get into a sell. I'm not comfortable selling AUD USD. Daily time frame looks like it's gonna go bullish. Weekly time frame has been called for this sell. I wanted this retracement. I kind of still think that this one right here was the retracement on this move. 4 hour time frame, this is called for a buy. Didn't retest the RSI line, but still, it's just, again, I don't feel safe trying to get into a sell, although the weekly time frame doesn't necessarily say it's like I said, it wasn't a bullish engulfing candle, which is making me still think that yes, AUD USD, it's still at a place where it could potentially sell at. Let me get these back on here. But yeah, it is at a place where it could potentially sell at, absolutely. Just the way how price got up here and the way how it looks, it's not that appealing to me. And overall, this is at a swing buy area. If I'm not mistaken, I had mentioned that last week. Yep, right here. It's at a swing buy area on the daily time frame. Faked out to the downside. For those who might have gone in at that 78.6, right now you'd be in profit. Right now you'd be in how many pips profit? Although pips don't really matter. You'd be like in about 100 pips profit right now if you would have gone in at the 78.6, which is 0.7204069 right here. This can still go bullish, and the based off of how the US dollar and AUD USD acted on Friday, it looks like it could continue going bullish. So sellers beware. Like you might start to get the retracement right here, but I'm not sure if price is gonna continue making lower lows. That's what I'm trying to get at the end of the day. Okay, so let's go on over to UCHF. Oh, Mr. UCHF. So UCHF, I was saying that I wanted price to come back down lower to 0.90834 before I potentially look to buy it. But again, based off of how Friday turned out, I'm not so certain. But again, there is NFP this week, so I'm gonna still watch for this 0.90834. I'm still gonna be paying attention, watching, seeing what it does. Because if price does end up coming over here and holds, I might take my chance. The daily time frame doesn't look great for me to try to take it. Let me go ahead and hide all drawings. Weekly candlestick doesn't look that great, especially since it's rejecting off of that 50 EMA. And the monthly time frame doesn't look that great either. Yeah. Like I said, at this point, when it comes to UCHF, I kind of have to be patient with it because it's not looking great. It's not looking great at all. So 0.90834, that's where I'm going to be being patient. Then I'll wait and see if the market ever gets there. And if it does, then that's when I'll be like, all right, let's go ahead and take a crack at it. Arbitrage, weekly time frame. Price is still up over here at the RSI line. So this is a place that arbitrage users might be looking like, okay, either A, price is good, I'm going to be in a loss, or price, I'm going to go in a buy. And this is like a 50-50 type of trade at this point for the weekly time frame. So, but if price holds above the RSI line, then it should go bullish, right? That's how it usually goes. Daily time frame just called for a sell right here. So when the market opens, just know that this is a sell on the daily time frame. So you guys see what I'm saying? Like the weekly and the daily for these USD pairs, it looks like they're just like showing the opposite on arbitrage. And of course, the 4 hour and the 1 hour is just going to be favoring what the most recent price action was doing. So there's that. S&P. I literally have not looked at this all week. I promise you, I did not. From when I talked about this on Tuesday, I have not looked at this again. Literally, I keep saying this. When price hits this 50 EMA, I literally say this every week. I feel like I say this, no, not every week, but let me get that out of the way. But I literally say this all the time. Once price hits that 50 EMA, that's a good buy spot for these indices. Once price, because it's shown it to you again and again and again. This was on when? This was on the 19th of August. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 days. 7 days ago. Right here. RSI line. I mean 50 EMA. 50 EMA. 50 EMA. like I'm not really trying to talk a lot. I'm not really trying to say much, but I'm just like, yo, like I see this every week. The 50 EMA off of these indices, I'm not saying off of any other thing, off of these indices, that's where you kind of want to go with them because they show it over and over again. And again, I did it from when I drew this out from this low to this high. Price retraced, came to the 78.6, went bullish, making higher highs. Like, I don't trade them, but this is not for no reason. Same thing over here. Hit that 50 EMA, could have made some money, but I'm definitely not feeling this sell right here. Like this sell for the DXY, not feeling it. It's not gonna possibly happen. What most likely happened here was from this buy right there, 61.8. That would have been where some people would have got in at, or if some people would have drawn the fib this way or drew the fib this way, they would have been in some drawdown. The price went bullish or something like that. But I definitely expect US 30 to keep going to the upside and making higher highs. I want to go see what NAS 100 looks like. And then NAS 100 making higher highs off of the 50 EMA. Like it's just me, guys. I can't be in these markets. I see it all the time, but me personally, I can't trade them. It's just weird, but I mean, I'm gonna have to because they do be showing plays, and I'm like, this is the same. I say it all the time. Off of the 50 EMA, it's a good place to buy these indices because they just keep making higher highs. So, anyways, let's go on over to Taco. Sorry, I had to look at that. All right, USDMXN rejected off of that 71%, been rejecting off of this fib zone and dropping. And again, just based on the DXY, it looks like this could continue falling to the downside because the DXY honestly looks like it wants to continue falling. So, yeah, I dropped the ball on this for sure. I should have just took the sell, but I expect this to continue falling to the downside if the DXY continues falling as well. 4 hour time frame just called for the sell on USDMXN, so I'm probably going to end up watching for this retracement, and then I'm going to get in on that sell. Daily time frame is called for a buy, but again, it was consolidating and it broke to the upside, so that's kind of what it needed. And I don't like seeing this retracement on the weekly time frame. Like, this hasn't called for a buy yet, but price did break out of the RSI line and it's retracing, so that's something I'm gonna watch for for the on that sell that I'm talking on this sell that I'm talking about, I'm gonna have to watch that weekly time frame because that's kind of scary. So let's see what happens. ADHD. Let's see. Gold. As I mentioned last week, I was saying that, I was saying last week, I was like, yo, I'm looking for sales at 1800 and I'm gonna hold them, but I'm gonna have a short stop loss of 1820. Because usually with this type of trade setup, I have my stop loss I would have my stop loss like at 1837 or something like that. But I said, you know what? No, I'm just gonna have a stop loss at 1820 and I'll reassess the trade later, you know? And I'm glad I made the decision. I didn't even risk 1% of my account off of that. It's just because I'm just like, how is this going to play out, gold? And so gold looks like it wants to keep going bullish. Ever since it came above this 50 EMA on the 4 hour, it's been respecting it. It's going bullish, just like how with the other GX spot pair. So this right here, I think is not going to play out. So there is these equal highs up here that this just looks pretty fishy to me, pretty fishy. So I'm expecting those to get ran through, honestly speaking. And you know, the more I'm seeing this, even from this high to this low, 1865 doesn't look terrible, 1847 doesn't look terrible. The more I'm really looking at it, because even from when price did this drop, it didn't necessarily retrace as high as it should have. But this weekly hammer, where it closed at, let's just go ahead and put a line chart on there. If we put a line chart, price never came down here. It may have came down here for just a little bit, but if you use a line chart, you don't see that right there. So again, it's looking pretty bullish for the GX, for the gold. It's looking pretty bullish here, but I'm gonna wait and see if it's going to take out these highs, these equal highs over here, because that's what I think is possibly gonna happen. And then it could potentially sell. But again, that weekly time frame and price holding above 1761, it's kind of iffy to me. So wait, what am I doing? Sorry. So yeah, I'm definitely watching to see what gold is gonna do over here. I'm not saying that it's gonna sell at 1847 or 1865, but I want to see what it's gonna do there. It's not terrible. It's just, like I said, that weekly time frame. Looking at that weekly, scary. So I'm going over to arbitrage, 4 hour time frame. It called for that buy. It never called for the sell. Daily time frame. It looks kind of iffy. I'm not really caring the way how it looks. Although yes, price is over the 50 E. the RSI line, and it is holding against the RSI line. I'm still iffy about it. And then I'm gonna go on over to the weekly time frame. Yeah, weekly time frame, it called for a buy. But this at this point, it just looks hella messy. At this point, just weekly is just consolidating on the weekly time frame, so it's getting kind of messy. So I'm gonna have to wait for a breakout for either these lows or these highs to give a better opinion on this weekly time frame for arbitrage. That's just how it is. Yep. So there is that on gold. I'm watching for that 1847, 1865. I remember I was talking about 1869, so hey, maybe I might get my 1869. Regardless. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at bitty Bitcoin. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'll talk about that once I get there. All right, so still watching this huge supply zone on the cryptos. Still watching for the likes of 54,000 on Bitcoin as of right now on the lower time frames. Like nothing on the higher time frames has changed for me. The monthly candles, however, the monthly candles are looking pretty strong. There are 3 days left for this monthly candle, so we're gonna have to see how that is. Pretty strong. The volume isn't quite there, but that doesn't mean anything to me on a monthly scale point, unless I'm looking at something like this. It doesn't really matter to me. Weekly time frame, the volume is decreasing as price is going to the upside. I'm not really caring for seeing that. I love the weekly bulls though. I love the weekly bulls. It's been consolidation mostly this week. I do want to see price go bullish though. I like this daily candle that closed yesterday. Closed up this bearish candle pretty nicely. So yeah, I want to see price continue going bullish, but I am expecting price to have some slowdown once it gets to the supply zone. 4-hour time frame. I was seeing this earlier, the possibility of price maybe doing a little bit of a correction is a possibility. Prices over here at these fib zones could possibly drop down to like 44,000 or something like that. Could potentially go bullish, although I don't like necessarily double bottoms or anything like that. Or, you know, price could literally just come down and just come down to like the likes of 45,778, leave a little wick to this downside, like right here, and then go bullish. That would be fire, honestly speaking, because what's down here? Oops. Bro, I cannot move that. That's funny. All right. Boom. So if price could come down to 45,886, I'm going to get into that buy. Honestly speaking, I'm taking this to the upside. And again, I do want to see how price is going to react at 54,000. That 54,000 area is a very interesting level for me. So I'm going to wait and see what's up, you know? Going to see how things go with that. Why is my phone going off? All right, one on the weekly time frame, Bitcoin still hasn't called for the buy quite yet. I still see that bearish candle there. I don't like seeing that, but I am still feeling like price could go. Like I said, I want to see 54,000 before I start to really look for hardcore sells on the cryptos. Daily time frame setting up for a sell. I don't like seeing that necessarily. 4-hour time frame called for a sell. Although this sell that it called, it had played out basically already. Played out pretty nicely if you ask me. And the 1-hour time frame, it looks like it wants to set up for a potential sell. I'm gonna play this. I'm gonna play this right now. We'll see. But anyways, like I said, what I'm trying to see right now is if this is what price is gonna do, end up like making another false move to the downside, come down to like the 45,886, and then push up to the upside. That might be the wave. Go ahead and see what Ripple's doing. Ripple came back down to this buy box and rejected off of it. It went bullish. That's cool. And same thing with, I have the same feeling for Ripple. I want to see what it's going to do like at that $1.50 area before any type of anything, you know, before I try to say if I'm going to take any profits over there, or if I'm going to be like, yo, you know what, just going to let the price ride out, and if price ends up falling, then it falls. But that supply zone, I've been saying it for the longest time. I can't ignore it. Once price gets up there, then I'll be looking to see if it's going to short or not. Stand by that. And until I see price blast by it, then I have to stand by it, you know? So that's for the Ripple. 1-hour time frame already called for a sell on Ripple. 4-hour time frame sell. Like, Ripple daily time frame not looking the greatest. And then the weekly time frame. definitely called for. I mean, definitely never called for a sell off of Ripple, so that's good. You know, and these are the things that make me still hold on to Ripple, because it's still calling for a buy, but it's just where it's at right now. It's at a place where I should be looking to take profits, no cap. So Ethereum, let's go over to Ethereum. So after Ethereum came up to give a little love tap to the supply zone, it came down and just came back to this zone that it was respecting for it to go bullish on it, something like that. I think I was talking about something like that. And you know, this is something that I could possibly see happening, is that let's say that Ethereum does keep falling, and then it could potentially come down, and let's say it hits the 38.2 extension and it holds there, then continues going bullish. You know, there is some correcting that Ethereum could do, but you know, better be safe than sorry and just leave it alone for now, because it's just consolidating, right? Might as well just wait for a breakout of either side. I believe it's probably going to go bullish, but it could definitely continue going bearish. So I want it to come up to 36,000, and then I'm going to be keeping my eyes on Ethereum and seeing what it's going to do. Although, yes, I would love all-time highs. Can't say that's going to happen for sure. Let's go over to Ethereum on arbitrage before I forget. Daily time frame called for a buy, still very much bullish. It's rejected off of the second deviation. It's still holding there. Weekly time frame, it's holding at the second deviation as well. Never called for the sell off of that, so that's solid. 4-hour time frame. Yeah, with the 4-hour, it's just consolidating, so it's kind of weird looking. But yeah, guys, again, with the cryptos, just be careful. They look like they're I just feel like they're gonna go bullish a little bit more and hit that supply zone, and then we'll see what really goes down with them. All right, so GBP USD has been going decent with this swing play overall, with this daily sell from this high. Let me go ahead and get rid of all this and actually start a fresh chart. Going over to the monthly time frame to see what is looking like. So right now, weekly time frame, I see that there's this zone right here that price came to reject off of. I feel like this might eventually come up and liquidity might get grabbed eventually, but I don't know when that will be. Prices above the 50 EMA on the monthly time frame, and the candlesticks doesn't really tell me much. It's not really telling me anything, so I'm just gonna leave it at that on the monthly. There's still a couple of days until the monthly closes. Weekly time frame, there last week was a bearish engulfing candle, then a retracement. It looks like this is a retracement candle on the weekly. Prices rejecting off of the 50 EMA, but I feel like that's gonna get broken shortly, in all honesty. Daily time frame, the past 3 to 4 days has just been consolidation, but on the 23rd, price did give a bullish engulfing candle that looks like a potential morning star could play out, right? So I'm gonna be watching for that. We want to daily time frame though. I do want to note that the 50 EMA is above price, and what I could potentially see price do is, retrace back up to the likes of 1.38754 and then continue to fall. That could be a possibility in the market. It doesn't look like the GPs want to go bullish right now. In my honest opinion, they do not give me that feeling that they want to continue going bullish. So I'm going to be watching to see what 1.38754 is going to look like, because I just feel like prices are just going to keep going bullish at this point. And then I will see what it do with GU. Create. All right, so let's go ahead and check out what arbitrage is looking like. Monthly time frame, I checked that out. Remember, I always said that, this is a place where price can literally reject off of it and then go bearish. Still watching for that. Weekly time frame called for the sell last week. I'm getting that retracement. getting close to there. But even for arbitrage users, if you guys are looking for a position trade, then GU might be the position trade you're looking for potential stuff. Because again, I'm not getting the feeling that GU wants to continue going bullish. However, I know that those equal highs do exist. I'm not sure if price is going to go and do that. Not yet, at least. Daily time frame, price calls for the sell, rejecting off of the lower danger zone. Again, another sign that price will potentially fall. 4-hour time frame did play out for a buy. It hasn't came and hit TP yet, but if price does climb up a little higher, then that isn't terrible, Again, I'm looking at 1.38754, and then I'm going to see what happens from there. Because again, I feel like this is going to keep going bearish. Let's go on over to GBP AUD. All right, so GA, this didn't end up playing out where it would reject here, come up to 1.90644 and then go bearish. Instead, it just dropped, gave a bear flag, and then continued falling, which is totally fine, I was just hoping that it would come up over here before falling, but it is what it is. At this point, I gotta wait for a retracement. Wherever it retraces at, I'm gonna be watching for that. What this is telling that this might end up like happening, something like this. But again, wherever it stops at, that's kind of where I have to look for that play to happen. So if it's over here, retrace, continuation, then that's probably what I'm gonna look for. But I have to wait for it, right? There's nothing else I can do. 4-hour, 1 hour, all bearish. I'm more than sure I wouldn't have been able to get into that entry. On GA, daily time frame setting up for a sell, but I expect it to reject off of here and then make a retracement, right? Like this. So let's see what happens with GA though, because it could definitely keep falling from the way how it looks. And last but not least, wait, did I even look at GJ? I don't think I looked at GJ. All right, let's take a look at EG though. EG, I had mentioned last week that I wanted to see it do a retracement regardless to the downside before going bullish. So I'm still waiting on that. Daily time frame doesn't tell me really much. It's like a doji-ish candlestick, I guess. It's kind of weird. I did say that I wanted to see this play out, and I'm still in this trade. I'm still in this sell. Still looking for the sells down to 0.85119. So gonna be holding this trade, seeing what EG gives me next week. If I'm going over to arbitrage, daily time frame is telling me to get out of that sell, although the way how it looks, it's not that amusing to me. 4-hour time frame is calling for a sell. After it called for this buy, it called for another sell right here. So this is another sign that I'm like, okay, yeah, let's take it to the downside. Arbitrage users, I would not, like, this doesn't look terrible for a trade. Putting your stop loss above these highs, that's a 1 to 2 risk to reward right there. That doesn't look terrible at all, to be quite honest with you. And let me go on to the 1 hour and called for a sell, but that's about it. So just be careful. It's just going to be above these wicks on the daily time frame. So, but I'm watching to see how this plays out, to be quite honest with you. I kind of like it. Gonna go ahead and hide this all out. Want to look at the daily candlestick? Yeah, it's nothing crazy to look at, you know what I'm saying? Weekly candle, same thing. Nothing too crazy, except for that bullish engulfing candle right there. Now, but all from last week. So, and I didn't look at GJ. So that's kind of weird that I skipped over GJ and went to EG. GJ, this was a pair that I was talking about in the next wave, that I was like, oh, this looks like a pretty decent place for GJ to go bullish, and it ended up going bullish, but it has these equal highs that it has to deal with. I do believe that these equal highs are going to get ran through and price is going to keep going bullish, but I want to see what price is going to do at 152.491. I remember I had talked about that like I think a week ago or 2 weeks ago, and I still want to see what it does there. Because when price came up to 150.751, it definitely did not play out at all. 4-hour time frame on GJ is definitely bullish, so I do expect it to continue going bullish. daily time frame. It's setting up for a buy. It's not the greatest looking buy, but it's setting up for it. So that's what I want to see. And with that being said, is there any questions? I don't think there would be or anything like that. Nope. All right, sounds good. Well, thank you guys so much for hopping onto the analysis. I do appreciate it. And let's go ahead and make some money this week, y'all. Later.